This is my first Pride celebration, and it feels liberating to be here to celebrate with my family, with people that I see that I can relate with, people that I've gone through a lot, and people that I can share my story with.
I'm JERMAIN. I am a broadcaster, journalist, and club DJ. And when it suits me, I'm an activist as well, because it's just unavoidable because there are so many problems in this world. And as you can see, I am a living problem which has dropped at the door of the Netherlands. It's my second year. Last year I came alone. I was the only refugee who came here, and that bothered me. So I spoke to our lovely friends at CocktailEvents and the Amsterdam Museum. So this year we brought 24 people. I met Nada in 2019 in a beautiful place called Zwijkhausen. It's somewhere deep. In Limburg, and we've known each other for 2 years. She is one half of a recent status holder. Her lovely girlfriend is over there, Hanan. Thank you for being here. I hand over to you, Nada.
I have a dream that someday we have pride inside our cities, in our home countries. Thank you.
But the theme of all of the performances this evening is all that glitters is not gold.
I am RAHATUL. I came from Bangladesh, 2019. I never want to come in Holland because for my dad, I really love him so much. I want to try in my last breath, like I want to stay in my country. But yeah, unfortunately, in the after day, it was not possible because for my sexuality. So I want to share with my last experience. Now, IND gives me a positive result. So now I am allowed to job and study. So I find a job. I live in Mastic and it's a boutique shop. So I worked in, I think, 1 week, and one of my colleagues, she asked about myself, and couple of days later, she asked me, do you like me? And I said to her, yes, I like you. And she said to me, why do you like me? And I said to her, because you are my colleague. And after that, she again complained me like a HR, like a head of my boss. And she texted me on WhatsApp, if you are straight, if you are lesbian, gay, just keep yourself. Don't express like. Then I called my boss and I say to her, I am so sorry because my colleague asked me, like, do you have any boyfriend? And that time I said to her, no, I don't have a boyfriend, I am a lesbian. And after that, couple of days later, she asked me I like her or not. So yeah, in Netherlands also.
My name is NAOMI Antonius. I'm going to be the host of this evening. The fact that this event is taking place on this courtyard at the Amsterdam Museum, that's quite symbolic. I'm looking at a golden coach. So, I don't know if somebody knows the history of the golden coach. It's quiet right now. I'm going to tell you a little bit. Side note. For me, on the left, so I'm right. Yeah, on that side of the golden coach. If you walk by it, watch it. Look at the how do you call it? Painting. Yeah, it's not really a painting actually, but it represents a white woman who is getting products of black people, Creolan people, Marons, Surinamese, maybe from Indonesia. And the title is Hulde der Koloniën, which means homage of the colonies. And it's racist. And there is a lot of debate going on about this panel. And then also, it's not a golden coach. Well, actually, it's golden foil. It's not glitter. It's not gold. It's wood. So the whole facade is fake. Something to think about.
I know when I moved here, you would get called a lot for, projects and studies and surveys and participation in this and participation in that. And I said to myself, who is this actually benefiting? Is it benefiting the migrant community? Is it benefiting the queer community? Is it benefiting the academic who is carrying out the survey or the study? And I thought that was really important because that wasn't discussed a lot.
Rightfully, you ask, who is it benefiting? Do you think that any of these panels, etc., do you think that they benefit the migrant community in any way?
Some of them do, not all of them.
Okay.
I think it depends on the approach. Because for me, I've always said that Amsterdam does a very good job of speaking the woke conversation, but then when it's time to actually practice it, that's where there's a gap. That's where there's a disconnect. So like, if it was a matter of poems and speeches and stuff like that, they'd be up here. Because we have these wonderful, carefully curated conversations. Every year we have these mea culpas. We're going to do better, we're going to do better, we're going to do better.
The politically correct agendas.
And then you have these horrific things happening. And a lot of times when it's people of color who are queer, it doesn't get any press. Like I remember talking about 2 or 3 incidents to somebody and they're like, oh, I never heard about this. It wasn't in the paper. It wasn't on the news. It was like a side note somewhere, because you've had several incidents that have just been horrific. And then if it's something that happens to, like a native Dutch person or somebody from the mainstream population, then it's, oh, we're going to walk hand in hand and this is an atrocity and it's national news. As it should be, because it's awful, but I just, keep that same energy for us.
I will do one in Dutch. It is just published from my new book, Landschap van mijn ziel. It's a collection of poems in the Dutch language. It's titled, Ik moest vluchten. I have to flee in English. Is geen ruimte in jouw gedachten om mijn omstandigheden te begrijpen. Want jij staat niet in mijn schoenen. Ik ben bang gemaakt. Ik ben bang gemaakt door de monsters uit mijn achtertuin. Dat heeft mij kwaad gemaakt toen ik moest vluchten voor mijn leven. Mijn koffer was leeg, maar te zwaar om te dragen. Hoe kan ik dat bewijzen als mijn vinger nergens naar kan wijzen? Bereik ik een nieuw land? Vluchteling, roepen ze naar mij. Als vluchteling blijf ik vechten om mijn leven als mens terug te krijgen. Ik dwaal door de Nieuwbinnenweg en de Mauritsweg om mijn verhaal te vertellen. De straten worden koud, mijn stem trilt terwijl ik wacht op mijn verblijfsvergunning. Het AZC is een fabriek voor depressie. Daar wonen mensen, hopeloos mensen zonder agressie. Ik wou dat u in mijn schoenen of in hun gedachten wandelt om te begrijpen wat er echt tot doet. Dank jullie wel. Dank je.
I think, you know, the thing about when people say being vulnerable, I think what we have to remember is we're all people.
Yeah.
And my story might have been my story, but I think everybody here, even white people, have stories that represent those things. So I think that's the great thing about vulnerability. We think that we're vulnerable, but we're all vulnerable.
Everything in life starts progressively and then ends in suspense. From the first step of a baby to the last breath before the soul drifts away. We try our best to leave memories behind, a legacy that will create a trail of glory, a path that will remind others, yes, I was here. But what does it truly mean to be here? Present living, forever seeing the terrors happening, with the sea levels rising, wildfires raging, animals slowly disappearing, virus rate increasing, families losing their homes, bombs being dropped down on a daily, Karens being their usual selves, but we choose to turn a blind eye. Because to ourselves we think, nothing is new under the sun. So we sit down and watch it burn. And you know what I've noticed from it all? Certain life experiences happen to be cosmic occurrences. Events that are set up to turn a whole world around. Decisions leading to the creation of a new world, dismantling that which has been known, transitioning into a new reality. Not forgetting that which is gone, but appreciating all that was and all that is becoming what we call the now. So I asked myself, out of wonder, out of curiosity, for my mind goes with the wind, trying to get a touch of all that it comes across. How can I make this world a better place? How can I make this world a better place? And you know the answers are always right in front of you. Our reflection. One that we try to deflect because we're so caught up in a web of comfort, riding on the horses of our gold-plated privileges, galloping away into our haven, because this battle isn't ours, we say. We were not built for this. Let them deal with the consequences of their actions until it hits too close to home. And that is why I'm pretty sure this phrase is all too familiar. What if it was your sister? What if it was your brother? What if it was your mother? What if it was your father? But you see, it has nothing to do with blood. For Cain killed Abel for how much God showed love over his brother. So no. It has nothing to do with blood. It's about your humanity. how conscious we should be in heeding to the cries of those in pain, holding them as they express their hurt, giving them comfort from the places they've run from, a place that they once called home. For you see, mothers have crossed oceans from the tears poured over the loss of their children. Fathers have dug holes, bidding farewell to those that they held there. Sisters have tried to wash away the memories imprinted on their skin of shamed, hush-pleased, and tabled no's. And brothers have been ridiculed. They've been emasculated, only because they choose to live their truth and given labels long before they knew who they were. So I understand why some of us choose to deflect. Because for so long we've been met with nothing but rejection. Oh, I know how that feels. Closeted away, locked in the tower. And you see, the body remembers. It stores away pains and memories. And that is why we find a link that awakens the trauma, sleeping demons from its slumber to feast on everything around us, first starting from within, working its way out, and so the cycle continues. Hurt people, hurting people. A vicious cycle that does nothing but set us off our true path. For I've seen, I have seen how much hatred the world has shown our kind. Treated as an outcast, an outsider that no one should mind, told to pray to God for the abomination that we have become, even hated by our very own. Clawed communities, hugs receiving. For what did we fight so hard to build? Did we forget? Did we forget it started with women like Marsha? Did we forget? And we live in a culture that's so toxic, filled with racism and a hint of homophobia and fat shaming disguised as preferences. Oh, this is what I like. A toxic pickup culture that does nothing but adds to the trauma that we choose to run from. Chasing a temporal high, face down on our screens as we swipe and scroll, looking for our next distraction. After all, it's just a side attraction. It's just a side attraction. For I know how hard we search for things in places we cannot find. And when we come across misplaced objects, we say to ourselves, this will do. This is exactly what I need. So I ask, have we come this far to allow ourselves to stoop to the lowly places that we've crawled from? Because I can tell you this, gone are the days of us shrinking ourselves in spaces that we helped create, when it started out of a place of love. Leaders like Marsha P. Johnson, Sylvia Rivera, Stormy DeLavery, and Miss Major Griffin Gracie. An uprising that gave birth to our freedom, bringing to life the Gay Liberation Front. So I say to you, my brothers, my sisters, my non-binary folks, this is our time. Our time has come. Because we're part of something way bigger, like Beyonce said. We're bigger than they can ever comprehend. So how about we create a pact, taking it steadily, staggering steps like that of a newborn, accepting yet changing, evolving to love that which has come to be our anchor to live in, healing and changing the narrative that we've been given. Because it truly starts with me. It starts with you. It starts with us. Thank you very much.